What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to the Honkai Star Rail version 3.3 special program, The Fall at Dawn's Rise. I'm very excited for this. I'm not going to delay things at all. I'm very excited for both Hyacinth and Cypher, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and let's get into this. Sponsored by Lady Aglaya. Ooh, okay, hi Casterus. This is a cute little style.
Can you hear me?
I'm here too, Cassie. It's so great to see you.
This is really fucking cute.
You too. I almost thought we couldn't reach Miss Casters. How are things going over there?
It's a bit dark here, Mr. Albert.
Yeah, in
There's
the
no need to
fucking
worry about
afterlife.
me.
Well, that's good to hear.
Subtitles, oops.
Actually, where's Miss Cypher?
Here.
Uh-oh.
Ask, and you shall receive.
Why, oh no. Why is she glitching?
Miss Cypher, are you...
Having signal issues?
Seems like it.
Don't worry, the wind is just a bit strong here in Akuma.
Oh no.
Cypher, are you okay?
Oh my god. That is insane. Okay, and now into the trailer.
My ancestor, Seleucid the Day Thunder Knight,
Ooh.
raised her spear against the sky and ushered in the flame-chasing era that continues to this day.
Interesting. A predecessor.
Miss Hyacinth!
Little Ika. Let's have a break.
That is... that is way too cute.
Guide with the Rainbow Bridge.
Ooh, she has like a wand. Nice. Very magical girl-esque.
Faint light. Dispel the gloom. Restore the skies.
The little horse is way too cute.
Flame chase journey is nearing its end.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Let us soar together.
Ooh. Aquila? Yo, okay.
Seriously, where did they hide that thing?
Ooh, interesting music. I love that she is essentially a speedster.
Don't fight so I can leave early.
Oh, a little magnet. Okay. All right then.
We'll take it off.
Ooh. Oh, Flame Reaver's back. Oh fuck. Oh.
Leave this to Casters and me.
Oh.
Awaken, ladies.
Looks like things are getting crazy.
The will of humanity.
Oh my god.
I am
Oh fuck.
blazing sun destined to rise.
Yo, Finon? Okay, we're gonna have to go back to that trailer after the fact.
Ooh, and weather your world is
Ooh,
good
that was
and
so hype.
sunny already. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the version 3.3, The Fall at Dawn's Rise special program. I'm Albert, your favorite announcer.
As always.
Welcome three guests. Why don't you say hello to everyone?
Yeah. I'm Cypher.
Hi,
God.
everyone. I'm Hyacinth, a healer from the Twilight Courtyard.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. I'm Casterus. It's a pleasure to be on the special program.
Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Albert, for inviting us and for setting up such a special broadcasting location.
Oh,
It is pretty interesting.
where are
in
we?
the sky right now.
Oh.
This is to bring everyone first-hand intel about the Aranova. After all, I've been
Okay.
personally watching the Flame Chase Journey's progress too.
How?
For example, in the previous version story, we saw the Chrysos heirs recover the core flames of death and reason.
Yep.
And we learned through Professor Anax's experiment that the world of Amphorius is essentially in a cycle.
Whoa.
That's correct. The Titans of today are the Chrysos heirs of the previous cycle.
Yep.
We did make a lot of progress, but we also paid a heavy price.
Lots of
Cassie
dead.
took over Death's authority and remained in the Nether Realm to maintain the cycle of life
Yeah.
and death. while
Not a
Professor
true
Anaxa
death,
reached the end
but
of his journey
a
as a
loss,
living man.
nonetheless.
A hero's journey is always accompanied by farewells. But I'm convinced their sacrifices will not be in vain.
Let's hope so.
In version 3.3, the Trailblazer will set out with the Chrysos heirs on their final campaign of the Flame Chase Journey.
Final
That
campaign.
is the battle against the Sky Titan.
Interesting.
Speaking of Aquila, no one has ever been able to uncover their secrets, even though you can see the sky just by lifting your head and Akuma.
That's just how it is. The sky has remained untouchable throughout Emphorius' history. And anything beyond the sky is strictly taboo.
Guess that's what
Most
happens
people
when you
both
have a god that
respect
shoots you out of the
and
sky.
fear Aquila.
The histories say that Aquila is a giant bird with 100 eyes, that the sky itself is their eyelids, and that they govern the
Jeez,
dawn
okay.
and dusk of the world.
So that's what all the eyes
They
in the
once
sky
fought
are.
against Nikador in the Chrysos War.
Yeah, I think we've seen
The
stuff
sky
about
cities
that.
back then were powerful states that could even stand toe-to-toe against Castrum
Wow,
Chronos.
okay.
As for the worlds beyond the sky, it's said that some people once made skyships to overcome Aquila's curse upon the sky, only to have their entire city-state reduced to ashes.
Yeah, we've heard about that.
Compared to how other titans bring faith and protection to the people, Aquila appears particularly arrogant.
That's a way to
and
put it.
seems to only demand fear from humanity.
Yeah.
Besides, now the sky is stopping Gray and Danny from going home.
But don't
Or
worry,
getting backup.
The Trailblazer will be able to go home once this battle is over.
Albert, let's not jinx it.
Okay.
Listen, it's fine. We've
no
already
jinxing.
died once.
But since no one has managed to reach the sky for thousands of years, that just goes to show that Aquila is the most challenging foe on the Flame Chase journey
I imagine.
so far. Ooh, I've been too scared to even fly to Boreas. What if Aquila turns me into a barbecued owl with one thunderbolt?
So, is there any possible way for us to reach the sky?
There has to be.
Don't worry, Cassie. Just leave that to me.
Ah.
As a descendant of the sky, I've never forgotten how to return up there.
Okay,
That's
cool.
right. In version 3.3, Hyacinth will lead the heroes in carrying out a ritual.
a
and
ritual.
Summoning a rainbow bridge. to
Oh,
head
a
to
rainbow
Aquila's
bridge,
abode
okay.
together.
Slightly different
That's a
mythology than
descendant of the
usual,
sky
but
for you.
sure.
But instead of worrying about how we'll get up there, shouldn't we worry more about what'll happen once we've ascended?
That is fair.
Ooh, fear the power of the sky.
Hey, which side are you on?
I was just trying to set the mood. After all, the Flame Chase journey has been through so much. Apart
Yeah.
from enemies in the sky, there are also problems on the ground.
Uh-oh.
The last core flame of the Flame Chase journey.
I love the
core
environmental
flame of the
effects.
world-bearing Titan remains protected in Dawn Cloud by the Council of Elders.
Uh-huh.
Has not been returned.
Correct. Though the Council of Elders is losing their power,
Yeah.
they do still have that trump card up their sleeves.
Still have
We
access
must be on
to
the
it.
lookout for their counterattack.
Yes, and the Flame Reaver also appeared in the trailer.
I'm
we
so
just
excited to
saw.
see the Flame Reaver again.
Ticking
It's
time
definitely not
bomb still
Phylon.
hasn't been
What are
dealt
you
with.
talking about?
But Lord Mighty is now permanently stationed in Castrum Kremnos, and I must remain in the Netherrealm. While the other Chrysos heirs must go on the campaign against Aquila.
But based
True.
on the trailer, it sounds
There's so
like you
much
might
we
be able
need
to do
all at the
something.
same time. Just how exactly can we protect Kephaly's core flame?
To protect World Bearing's Cord Flame, maybe we can trouble a certain demigod who hasn't been a part of the team for a long time.
Ah.
Us, Miss Cypher!
Yeah. Okay, so that's her role in things. She's gonna steal the core flame.
Maybe it'll become an interesting game.
That actually is very fitting for her. I like
Apart
that.
from the pursuit of Aranova within Emphorius, the geniuses beyond this world are also keeping a
Yep.
close eye on things.
Very curious how Herta will get
Madverna's
involved.
Data Spirit Entity successfully reached the Vortex of Genesis at the end of version 3.2's main story. And we learned from her conversation with Lygus that the
God,
third
Lygus.
path enveloping Emphorius is the destruction.
I've
As
seen
the
a lot of
geniuses
stuff of people
continue their
saying maybe
investigation,
Lygus was
the source
lying,
of
so I'll be
Emphorius'
curious to see
tragedy
if that's
will
the
gradually
case.
be revealed, and the fates of Emphorius and the cosmos will also begin to tangle. As for how, that will be up to the Trailblazers to find out in the
Of
upcoming
course.
story.
Of course.
To make sure that everyone can smoothly pass the final challenge before reaching the Aranova, Albert, and bringing you the latest reports on the Sky, Castrum, and Aquila.
All right,
Today,
what do you got?
The Eye of Twilight has clear weather,
a fucking sky city,
and
hell
high
yeah.
UV index. Make sure you stay hydrated and cover up.
God, I love the look of this
Heart
place.
of the Sky Cities. The various intricate machines here can control the weather, and you can enjoy unique meteorological phenomena using the Celestial Mural.
Okay.
These grandiose buildings were gradually abandoned over time, and all traces of Aquila, the Sky Titan, have been lost.
Huh.
Some claim that they are now hiding in the depths of the Eye of Twilight.
Though this place now lies empty and lifeless, we may still glean the Sky Folk's past glory and wisdom
As per
from
usual.
the traces left behind by time.
Yeah.
What a magnificent
We are
city
the time
hiding in the
demigod, I
sky.
think, now.
I bet there's lots of treasures that we've never seen on the ground.
Yeah, I also feel like this place seems very different from everywhere else in that forest.
Yeah.
Of course, please be careful as you observe the view from above the clouds.
Why hasn't it been struck down, though?
In this splendid sky castrum, we'll be fighting Aquila. The
Nice,
sublime,
okay.
radiant avatar
The
of
new
sky.
boss, I'm
The Sky
assuming?
Titan is the most capricious out of the 12 Titans. We really need more information about them before we begin the campaign.
That's right. In the
God,
first phase
Aquila
of the
looks
battle,
great.
the weather will be clear. Clear weather will have a starting temperature that can deal damage to allies. Aquila
Jesus
will
Christ,
increase
the scale.
environmental temperature over time, and their damage against allies will also increase as the
Okay.
temperature climbs.
Allies will
So
also
weather
be able to deal
mechanics.
more damage to Aquila when the temperature rises.
Wow.
But it's better to attack as many enemy targets as possible
Okay,
to reduce
AoE.
environmental temperature and reduce incoming damage.
All
You'll get a
right.
heat
Her to
stroke if it
stocks
gets
maintain.
too hot, so make sure everything stays cool. All right.
Well, that's right. And in the second phase of the battle, we will meet lightning and thunder.
Ah,
Storm clouds
makes
will
sense.
descend together with sharp gales. During this phase, the environment will accumulate thundercloud stacks, and Aquila will deal damage to allies based on the number of thundercloud stacks.
All
A
right.
sunny day turned into stormy weather in the blink of an eye.
Interesting.
When allies
okay.
attack Aquila in the second
I'm
phase
curious
of
to
the
see what
battle,
this fight
they
is
can
like in
seize
practice.
Thundercloud stacks. And Aquila will damage themselves based on the Thundercloud stacks seized by allies.
Okay.
After allies have seized all Thundercloud stacks, the Titan will become weakness broken.
But that's not all. In the third phase of the battle, the weather will get even worse.
Yeah, how does it get
and
bad, or-
Aquila will deal a set amount of damage to allies.
Oh.
Don't panic, everyone. I'll provide off-field assistance to the team during the third phase.
As
All
the
right.
most reliable healer in Akuma, having Miss Hyacinth around means we've got even more protection.
Yeah.
Not bad, little girl. You've got the intel, and you've got the moves.
Echo of War, Glance of Twilight will also become available
yeah,
in version
okay.
3.3.
Makes
Trailblazers
sense.
can obtain the character Cypher's advanced trace level up material, Day Thunder and Amnesis, after completing the challenge.
Interesting. It's
Here's a
ciphers,
kind
but not
reminder that the
Hyacinths?
character Hyacinth's advanced trace level up material is Lost Echo of Shared Wish.
Interesting.
Make sure you're not
Okay.
farming the wrong item, Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Sure.
That brings
Interesting
an
that
end
they're
to our
not both the new
introduction to
boss.
Stories about the sky. We'll be back in a bit, so don't go anywhere.
All right. Okay, what is this? More in this little cute art style. Oh no, Cypher, what are you stealing? What is that little horse thing? Oh my god! Cypher, what are you doing? Oh god. Don't touch that. Do not touch it. Alright, now showing off Hyacinth, I imagine. Very curious to see this. I've held off from looking at leaks, so this is the first time I'm actually seeing her animations. God, she really has that sort of magical girl aesthetic. Oh, that's cute. Ooh, okay. That is goofy.
Oh, even our studio feels all warm and fluffy now after seeing how cute and lovely Miss Hyacinth is.
It's my duty to rejuvenate everyone. I'm the head healer of the Twilight Courtyard, and I've always been responsible for the Flame Chaser's health and wellness.
Yeah.
She's also great at taking care of the chimeras. The chimeras
As we
work
know.
hard thanks to her. That's how you grow, a business, you know?
I was very surprised at first by Miss Hyacinth's warmth and healing. It's a far cry from the impression I got of the descendants of the sky from the history books.
Oh, yeah.
And what do the history books say?
They are usually tall and ferocious, and brave and warlike.
Yeah, she does not match that.
They have the authority to control the weather. Some legends even claim that the sky folk have wings. Albert, I know you have wings, but this is local Amphorius history we're talking about here.
Fine.
Let him
Well,
dream.
even back when Lady Treby was spreading the prophecy, a sky folk with a spear in hand had already issued a challenge to Aquila.
Oh, okay.
My ancestor was also the first mortal to slay a god. Many brave warriors who participated in the Kremnos festival are also counted among that heroine's descendants.
That just
What
makes me more
gods do they
curious,
kill?
Miss Hyacinth.
Do we know about that?
With so many strong and brave fighters in your family tree, why did you choose to become a healer?
That is a good question.
Because my wish is to add a footnote for ordinary people on the heroic epics blank page. And to
Okay.
heal every vulnerable person to the best of my ability.
Interesting.
Though the duty of the flame chase is heavy and profound, I wish my friends wouldn't be so troubled all the time. That's why I try to keep everyone as cheerful as possible.
Nice.
That's right. I remember that Hyacinth definitely reduced the tension in that conversation the first time the Trailblazer met her.
Hey, she told Grey Mystery that they have sharp eyes and said they'd make good members of the Twilight Courtyard. Anyone would be happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm. What can I say? Having a friend who always looks after your emotional well-being is pure bliss indeed.
Yeah.
Miss Hyacinth has lots of cute birds in the Twilight Courtyard, too.
Ooh, okay.
And she loves taking pictures of them. You'd get along with her very well, Mr. Albert.
Wait, seriously?
Yep, that's right. Here, Mr. Albert, let me take some photos of you.
Ha!
Oh boy. They're so fucking blurry.
Why are they all out of focus? Anyways, why don't we look at how Miss Hyacinth performs in battle?
Yes, I'm a wind character.
Ooh, those are
following
some
the path of
enemies.
remembrance, and I'm skilled at protecting my teammates in battle.
I love
After
how those
using my
guys
ultimate,
look.
I can restore HP for all allies and increase their max HP.
Right,
Increase max
yeah.
HP for everyone in the team.
Great for
That's
Casterus.
Both my ultimate and my skill can restore HP for all allies, as well as summon my good helper, Little Ika.
It
Yeah.
looks so chubby, like a cute plushie.
Yeah.
Hugging it
Very
must
much
feel
plushy-like.
Very nice.
Not only is Little Ika very huggable, but they're also a great help in battle.
It doesn't escape me that
Whenever a
Casterus
teammate's
was
HP
saying
decreases
that.
during battle, Little Ika will consume their own HP to automatically
Okay.
restore HP for the teammate.
All
In
right.
other words, little Ika will automatically heal teammates both when they get hit and when they actively consume their own HP.
There are so many reasons why that is insane for
It's gonna feel
Casterus.
pretty safe with both Hyacinth and little Ika healing us.
Because they're losing
Apart
health
from healing
while giving
teammates,
health, so
Little
it's like
Ika
a double
can also
whammy.
attack enemies. The more healing Little Ika and I provide, the more damage Little Ika deals to enemies.
Right, okay.
Feels like even the battlefield becomes bathed in Miss Hyacinth's light of dawn, and my mood is lifted as well. Like a clear sky after rain.
Gentleness is a strength on its own. This
Very curious
colorful
about these
rainbow
enemies'
bridge and the
mechanics.
floating bubbles are all symbols of thriving life.
After all, healing isn't all about the
They
body.
seem like pretty
The
much
vitalizing the spirit
just
is very important too.
like
All
abyss
right.
versions
After Miss
of some of
Hyacinth,
the enemies
let's
we've seen.
introduce the next character coming in version 3.3, Cypher.
Yeah, I'm curious to see Cypher. I know like literally nothing about how her kit works. That pose is certainly something. The magnet's actually part of her kit. Okay. The coin kick is funny. Ooh, is this her burst? Nice.
Hey, stop!
What?
We're not done yet!
What?
Boss Cypher told me there were treasures in Fat Beak's studio. But there's nothing here. Still, thieves never return empty-handed.
Oh no.
So give it to me.
Oh god.
You bandit! Give me my
What?
clothes back!
Oh my god, they took his clothes!
apologies. Let us continue.
What the fuck?
Like Glai and Triby, Cypher is also a Chrysos heir who joined the flame chase journey.
Yeah,
at the
she's been
very
around a
beginning.
while.
She has had the divine authority of trickery for many long years.
And she
But
clearly
unlike
uses
the
it for
other
its intended
heirs,
purpose.
Cypher's movements have always been elusive, and no one can pinpoint her whereabouts. She's
Pretty hard to do when you
almost
can
never in
just
Akama, but there
speed around
always
places so
seem to be
easily.
stories about her in the city.
Can't help it. I can't live in a place where the seamstress has got everything under surveillance.
Fair.
Albert's right. We've been in Akama for so long, and yet we've hardly seen Miss Cypher at all.
I wonder what she's up to all day.
Even.
I have a hot scoop from an anonymous gray-haired source that says Cypher has been colluding with the spirit thief.
Yep.
Hey, it's not colluding. Bartolos and I just have, similar interests.
No,
We're good
not the
partners
magnet.
when it comes to going on adventures and hunting for treasures.
Yeah, that spirit thief was so impressed by Cypher's charisma that they voluntarily became Cypher's sidekick.
All right.
Impressed by her charisma? Or
Yeah,
by
that
the promise of riches?
that sounds a bit more accurate.
If someone could make me rich, ooh, then they'd be the most charismatic person on earth.
All right.
Look at your working conditions, it's not in line with our principles.
Oh God. The Albert slander is insane.
What do I know? Happy about this. They are all demigods. Cypher is different from Glai and Treat.
Yeah, I'd say so.
She didn't seem to be all that interested in the flame chase journey or the Aranova.
She's
I'd
running
say
away from
that
her
she
destiny.
prefers a carefree and unrestrained life.
That's true. It was only thanks to Lady Aglaya's generous payment that Cypher was willing to come send the Trailblazer and me to Styxia.
Yeah.
Her free-spirited and independent personality has given Aglaya quite the headache. The fact that the demigod of trickery is unwilling to fulfill her duties has become Aglaya's most vexing concern.
Oh, come on. How do you expect me to do a desk job? There's no way a cat could fulfill the duties of a god. It's not the cat's problem, though. Cats are always right.
Yeah.
Cats are always right.
Everyone agrees.
Cats are always... Wait, why did we all start defending
Yeah,
Cypher?
wait a minute.
Isn't that the wonderful part about being the demigod
Ah.
of trickery?
The authority of trickery? Maybe that's how Cypher got Aglaya to value her so much. The
Maybe.
cat pulled a little trick, and Aglaya was absolutely powerless to stop her.
You want to know my trade secrets that much? Then you gotta pay up, you know?
Please
Of
stop
course.
on my wallet. Well, as to how Cypher caught Aglaya's eye and was invited to join the Flame Chase journey, that'll be for the Trailblazers
Of course.
to find out in version 3.3.
Of course.
But now, let's see how this cat
Yeah, I
fights in
want to
battle.
get a look at the kit.
Let's get on with it then. I'm a quantum character following the path of nihility. While in battle, I prioritize inflicting the enemy with the highest max HP on the field, with a special state.
All right.
When allies attack the enemy in that special state, I record the damage allies dealt to the enemy
Oh.
and perform follow-up attacks on that enemy.
Okay.
Are you saving up for something astronomical?
Bingo. When I use my ultimate, I will additionally deal true damage to the enemy based on the damage value I've
Okay.
recorded.
Whoa, does that mean when allies have dealt damage to the enemy, the higher the total damage is, the more additional true damage Miss Cypher will deal?
That's called borrowing other people's strength.
All right.
But a cat always has even better plans up her sleeve in a fight.
The fucking
When using my
magnet.
skill or ultimate, I can change which target is in the special state.
Nice.
The recorded damage value will be retained when the target is changed. In other words, if there are multiple enemies on the field.
Cypher can place her mark and do nothing as her teammates go all out on the attack. Then she can use her ultimate on the enemies on the field for a gazillion damage.
You
Maybe
know
not
your
that
stuff,
much.
Albert.
You're too kind.
I saw Miss Cypher using a huge magnet to pull
Yeah.
the enemies in during the fight. Where did that come from?
That's my hometown's invention.
Oh.
The homemade Pullaroo.
What the fuck is that
Pullaroo is
name?
my favorite. It can pull away anything I want to get my paws on, even gold.
So
Okay.
true. Look at how much stuff
Jeez,
is
that
getting
stacks
pulled
up.
out of the enemy. There's so much gold.
What the
Cats are
fuck?
good, and the enemies of cats are evil.
So is it based on like amount of
Look at
hits?
about anyway.
Or is
why
it just
not give their
damage?
treasures to the cat.
I'll have to look into that.
There's no need for me to go easy on enemies. I'll take all their sparkling jewels and jingling coins. After using my technique, my movement speed will increase.
All right.
And I will not be detected by enemies.
Fitting.
Allies might even get some, extra goods when I get close
Ooh.
to an enemy.
Okay.
So that's what you mean by thieves never return empty-handed.
Now that we've finished introducing Cypher, let's have a look at this version's
Okay.
banners. In version
Interesting.
3.3's first half warp event, Trailblazers can acquire the limited 5-star character Hyacinth.
Makes sense that Hyacinth
Limited
is
5-star light
first.
cone, long may rainbows adorn the sky, will also have a boosted drop rate. In the first half, the limited
Oh,
5-star
Herta
character
rerun.
the
Okay.
Herta is returning, and at the same time, the limited 5-star light cone into the
AoE is
Unreachable
good against the new
Veil
boss,
will
I
become
suppose, so it
available
makes
once
sense.
again. In version 3.3's second half warp event, Trailblazers can acquire
Alright.
the limited 5-star character Cypher. The limited 5-star light cone, Lies Dance on the Breeze, will also have a boosted drop rate. In the second half, the limited 5-star
Wow,
character
okay, we're
Glide
already
is
rerunning the
returning, and at
original
the
2 of
same time,
3.0.
The limited 5-star light cone, Time woven into gold.
That feels
will
relatively
become
quick. I might be
available
just
once again.
Wrong about that, but it feels quick for it to only be 3 versions later.
Time for a short break. The program will
This
resume
is just a direct
in just
repeat.
a few moments.
Huh. Oh boy, what's this? They really went all out with this one, like, animation style. What the fuck is that? Albert, no, no. What is this, fucking Mario Kart? Oh no, Albert. Alright, the speed up. Oh boy. That is so ridiculous.
Welcome back. This is version
That actually
3.3
happened?
Special program.
What happened to you during that break, Mr. Albert?
I'm okay. I just went on a walk in the forest and crashed into something.
Sure.
Crashed into a tree?
Someone told me Mr. Albert crashed into a flying emperor. What a...
Jarring victory.
All right. Enough of this. Let's get back to the program.
Yeah.
Penacony's Speed
Oh.
Cup Spheroid Racing Tournament is now
Okay,
open
a
for
Penacony event.
registration. The mightiest drivers are about to gather and fight for supreme glory together. During the event, the Trailblazer will drive a spheroid race car and participate in a racing competition. Different race
I
cars
guess it makes sense
have
that we're
different
exiting
characteristics
Emporius
and
for
abilities.
events and stuff once
First, let me
we
introduce
get
you to this
done with
super
Aquila and
cool-looking
stuff, we'd be able to
Sea
leave
Hunter
again.
Shark with a god-tier engine and supreme horsepower. It's the favorite of old-fashioned racers, guaranteed to terrify your opponents.
The racetrack is different for each race.
Yeah,
There
okay.
will be acceleration bands, deceleration bands, and different kinds of obstacles. You've got to be
We've
able
got
to deal
poor
with
man's
these
Mario
surprises
Kart here.
if you want to become the champion.
Hey, wait, there's a car coming up. Ooh, the opponent's putting on the pressure. Ooh, but I see on a shark
Now, is this only against
computers,
computers, like AI, whatever, or is it gonna be
Take them
multiplayer?
on a turn.
That's awesome. But the spheroids don't move forward by rolling?
It's not like roll the hamster ball night. We can't have the driver doing somersaults in there. Anyways, as the competition progresses, we'll unlock more race cars and enjoy different racing experiences.
All right.
Like what? Show us.
No problem. Let's look at the Lucky Car 13 Orphans. It said that whoever drives this car...
Oh, okay.
will be
We're gonna
blessed
have
by
people
the god of
visiting
games
Emporius,
before
not
we're
Emporius,
safe, and win
Penacony for
every
this.
tile game. And there's this one with an absolutely stunning name. The Herdador.
All these cars look...
Oh, well, there are die-hard fans everywhere. But I'm sure these celebrities won't mind having their likenesses printed on cars. Besides, the Trailblazer will encounter some old friends in this competition.
Seems like it.
Apart from the owner of these cars, I heard a certain hacker helped the Trailblazer register for this competition.
Gee, I wonder who that is.
Then I wish all the drivers good luck in this competition.
Okay.
Let us now turn to the
So is that the flagship
version of
event?
this. In version 3.3, the game
Oh.
Legend of the Galactic Baseballer Demon King
Returning to this.
will have its official release.
Okay.
T-Bone's investments is still paying off, and that's all thanks
This
to
event
the
was
valuable
neat.
suggestions the Trailblazer gave in the previous beta test. The official release of Legend of the Galactic Baseballer will retain the lore and setting of a little raccoon.
Oh,
looking
yes,
for
the
a
lore, the most
baseball
important
bat.
thing.
In every battle wave, the baseballer must defeat as many enemies as possible, gain experience, and try to increase their team level. After you've raised your team level, you get one chance to select a weapon or accessory. And you can raise your combat power by combining different weapons and accessories
Yeah.
sensibly.
Looks largely
After achieving
unchanged,
max
just
level
probably
with the
more
weapon,
stuff.
And if in possession of its resonant accessory, it can ascend into a legendary weapon.
On top of that,
was
there's
that?
one legendary weapon among the ones available this time that can be ascended further into an esteemed weapon.
Okay.
There are also combos between normal weapons that can become powerful twin weapons.
Oh, okay, cool.
Lots of cool new stuff.
This is the official release after all. Lots of new content has been added since the
Is that-
beta version.
Is that a
Also,
fucking
the
echo?
baseballer may encounter the Demon King's minions during battle.
An
Defeat 'em
echo
for a
of
chance
the
to open
Flame
chests
Reaper on
and
its
increase
own.
your combat power. After completing all the trials of one planet, the baseballer will receive one ultimate bat fragment. In
Uh-huh.
the final battle, the baseballer will need to use the reforged ultimate bat to fight the ultimate enemy, the Black Cloak Demon King.
All right.
Mr. Giovanni has great hope that the official release of the Legend of the
It's been
Galactic
a while since we've
Baseballer
seen
will
Giovanni.
bring the Trailblazer Supreme.
Adrenaline!
In version
Oh.
3.3, Divergent Universe Protean Hero will also have an update.
All right.
And the remaining 6 golden blood spoons will be
Ah,
released.
yeah.
A new
Okay.
buff system. What's the trick this time?
In the 6 goals that come with the Divergent Universe Protean Hero update, the duration of one full day can be reduced, making day
Interesting.
and night switch more frequently. This means that more golden blood spoon effects will be triggered as day and night switch over.
Huh.
Oh, so you're saying we should take advantage of how often
That's a
day and
cool
night
opposite
switch
way
and
to
reap the
use
buffs
the
to do
mechanic.
more damage.
Indeed.
So out of the 6 new schools, what will you choose, Mr. Albert, as an expert of the Divergent Universe?
This is a bit difficult.
Okay.
I'll pick Throne of Worlds to have a go first. I believe that when day and night switch over, Throne of Worlds will allow my allies to deal more damage.
Day
Okay.
and night do switch very frequently here, so the team will have more chances to deal damage.
Relying on the field effect
That's
is pretty
finance.
interesting.
There are more interesting things where that came from.
I find it
For
interesting that
the
some of
chemical
these
arts
don't
of
show the
Bao
actual
Rift
character
can
associated
turn
with it.
discarded and destroyed curios.
They're really
into
hiding stuff.
cosmic fragments.
Ah, sounds like there will be new dimensions to consider in the
Wacky.
future when it comes to strategizing.
You see, the Divergent
Oh.
Universe's strategy system also includes a new function to share strategy codes.
Oh.
Trailblazers can use a strategy code to directly import a strategy in the
That's
game.
a fucking
It
code.
will be even easier to find a specific strategy.
True. Okay, now let's take a short break.
All right.
The show will resume when we're back.
The last break. Do we get another silly little animation? Nope.
Welcome back.
I know what's
All
up
right.
next.
Anything
it's gonna
else?
be that good old
Ah,
friend,
yeah.
Gift of Odyssey.
The obligatory gift of Odyssey, which
Behold
very much
and
approve of.
rejoice.
Nice.
The Planar Fisher and Garden of
All
Plenty
right.
events
Pretty
will
much
also
just
return in
the
this version.
like typical
Completing them
stuff,
will
I
earn
assume.
Double rewards.
We also have some new materials to introduce to
Ah.
everyone. Stagnant Shadow Shape of Deep Sheaf will come online. And you can obtain the essential material, Invasive Clot, for physical characters upon completing the challenge.
Interesting.
Cavern of Corrosion, Path of Thunder Surge will
Ooh,
also
two new
open soon.
Complete
Complete
relic
its challenge
sets,
to
rather.
obtain the 2 relic sets. Warrior Goddess of Sun and Thunder, and Wave Strider Captain.
In terms
I'll be
of
curious to see
system
what those do.
optimizations, the relic storage limit will be increased to
Thank
3,000 in version
God.
3.3.
I have been
backpack.
struggling.
Now I can hoard more treasures and relics in there.
The red notification reminder in the game will also be optimized. The repeated red notification dots that trailblazers see when switching devices will be significantly
Oh, that is
reduced,
so nice.
and the logic behind some counterintuitive notifications will also be optimized.
That's always nice.
Yes.
All right, that brings
Oh, all
us
right,
to
we're
the
already
end of
over.
the version 3.3 special program.
Okay, I guess we did
It's
cover pretty
time
much
to
everything.
Call it a day. We'll see everyone next time.
All right, cool. Nice. Well, this seems like a very solid version, all things considered. The story itself seems like it's going to be pretty hype and cool. They seem to be continuing the strategy they had in last version of having both of the characters have sort of their own storylines that they are involved in that ultimately are working towards the same overall goal, of course. In this case, it seems like it's Hyacinth is the one guiding us to try to defeat Aquila and reclaim the core flame of Sky, while Cypher will be in some way tasked with probably stealing the core flame of Kefli of Worldbearing, which I'm a fan of. The structure of last version's story was, in my opinion, as good as it has gotten in Amphorius. So if they continue with that strategy, I'm gonna be a big fan of it. Meanwhile, just looking at events and stuff, it seems like we've got two pretty big events, and then obviously a major update to the Divergent universe, which realistically is plenty of content. It isn't like the most crazy amount of content, but I think it's a fine amount. I'm not upset about it. I'm hyped for both of the new characters. I'm gonna have to figure out who I'm pulling for, especially now that we have confirmed who's coming in 3.4, because goddammit do I need Finon. And if I could help it, it would also be cool to get Saber. But returning to the version trailer itself, I want to look at this a little bit more thoroughly. So the trailer opens with some new information about the history of the people that worship the sky, and more specifically, the ancestors of Hyacinth. More specifically, Seliosi the Day Thunder Knight. It seems like Hyacinth is descended from a great warrior, someone who in the rest of the special program we learn has killed a god? Who that is, I'm curious to find out, because there's only so many that it could be, unless it's some forgotten god at this point. But presumably that's going to be relevant based on some things later in the trailer and stuff. But what is particularly interesting about them, I think, is on top of them having supposedly killed a god, is that they challenged Aquila. They turned their spear towards the sky, which is very interesting because that means that Tribios is not the only person to turn against the god. Now, of course, in Tribios' case, it's less turning against the gods and more deciding the fate of humanity as humanity rather than waiting for the gods to give them their fate, where this sounds much more like an active challenge to the gods. But I'll be curious to learn more about that, given that the next line is that they ushered in the flame-chasing era that continues to this day, implying that them turning their spear on the sky is one of the things that brought on the flame-chasing era. Then the next bit of the trailer is obviously just showing off Hyacinth. She mentions the Rainbow Bridge here, which is an interesting detail. I hadn't picked up on that before, or at least forgotten about it if it's been mentioned before, that the Rainbow Bridge is a thing. It's interesting to see what mythologies they're sort of pulling things from, because obviously it's mainly like Greco-Roman type stuff, but obviously there's some additional little bits like this. Unless there is a Rainbow Bridge in like Greek or Roman mythology that I'm forgetting about. The main one that comes to mind for me is Norse. But then we transition over to Cypher, and her opening line is, seriously, where did they hide that thing? Probably, given the context of the rest of the special program, talking about the core flame of Worldbearing. But then after they show off Cypher for a bit, we cut to pretty much the rest of the trailer, which is just pure dramatic, big epic stuff. More specifically, we start with the Flame Reaver dropping one of Cypher's coins. Evidently, she had been reaching out to it, which is interesting. Curious to see the context of that. Perhaps she was trying to activate her speed, but then the Flame Reaver stops her, because it then just grabs her and flings her into a wall as we see just the sky turn red. Presumably something to do with Aquila. But more interestingly, the Flame Reaver speaks, saying, "Core Flame, it has to be me." Given all the aesthetic similarities between the Flame Reaver and Finon, and that they are fighting Cypher here, my guess is that it is seeking the core flame of Worldbearing, because it believes that it must be the demigod of world-bearing. If we're thinking about the fact that everything is a cycle, perhaps in the previous cycle, the Flame Reaver was someone who was made to believe that they were destined to become the demigod of world-bearing. And if we want to think that it is specifically actually a version of Phynon, that essentially did happen in last version. Anaxa announced to everyone that Phynon will be the one to carry everyone's memories into the next cycle as the demigod of world-bearing. So if something similar were to have happened, or the Flame Reaver is literally Phynon just from the future coming back to the present or something, whatever the exact logic is, that could explain why they believe they need to be the bearer of the core flame. Admittedly, they were also trying to claim the other core flames, so it's hard to say if they specifically are pinned down on specifically the core flame of world-bearing or not, but it's interesting to think about nonetheless. But the sky turns red, things start falling from the sky, but interestingly enough, the Flame Reaver continues stating cycles can't be, which makes me think even more that they are from a previous cycle and are trying to break the cycle, which would make a lot of sense actually. They see what this cycle is, and for whatever reason have deemed it to be something bad that should be stopped. And if they were to remove the core flames from the equation, the cycle could not be complete. New demigods could not rise, and they could not become new titans. Presumably, at least. But then as we just cut between all of these big shots of, like, the Flame Reaver fighting and stuff, we have Maide showing up and stating, "Leave this to Castris and me," implying that they are both fighting the Flame Reaver. Somehow Castris is involved. Who's to say how? Perhaps she comes out of the Netherworld for this, but I don't know if that's even possible. Who's to say exactly how it's done? But it's really cool to think about that we have two demigods we have seen rise to power who are going to go toe-to-toe with the Flame Reaver. And then we have this wild shot, which is, from the looks of it, Dong Hung in his Imbiber Lunae form, facing off against the Flame Reaver. This shot is amazing looking, and I'm so hyped for Dong Hung to actually do something in the Amphorius storyline. But because he hasn't used this form in any of Amphorius yet, I'm very curious what deems needing to use it. Is it literally just facing the Flame Reaver and it's just like the two of us or something? Who's to say, but I'm very hyped to see what happens here. We see Phynon. We have a brief shot of Phynon facing off against Aquila. We can see that his blade is concerningly similar to the Flame Reaver's. And then we get a wild shot because of the fact that the fucking core flame is in here of Hyacine with Lil Ika or whatever their name was, and the core flame like I mentioned. Presumably this is from late in the story once she gets her hands on the core flame. Sort of tells us ahead of time that they succeed, but oh hey, would you look at that, that's not too surprising. But what is equally interesting about this is the line that joins it. Awaken Lady Seliosi. It implies something about her connection to her ancestors. Maybe Lil Ika is some kind of connection to it? Who knows? It looks like Ika is maybe fusing with the core flame, so perhaps something interesting is going on there. I'll be curious to see what this call to her ancestor actually looks like in practice, what it actually means. But then we see, evidently at some point in the fight with Aquila, the sky turns to just this red darkness with glowing eyes. It's a visual we've seen before, and in this special program was described as the sky being just the eyes of Aquila. So this is a case of Aquila's eyes opening and raining hellfire down upon us. And as Hyacine continues to speak, she says, "Witness the will of humanity." Presumably this is connected to the line of Awaken Lady Seliosi. Perhaps she is calling upon the power of her warrior ancestor who once turned their spear against the sky, challenged the gods, so that they too can face off against Aquila. Perhaps it is the way that we survive this just bombardment of the sky. But then we get to what is realistically for the long term one of the more interesting sequences. We have Phynon kneeling down on the ground, clearly distraught, as we cut between shots of several people. One is Cypher, seemingly injured if not dead. One of, I think, Dong Hung, actually? Which is interesting. Clearly either exhausted or just, like, in a tense moment. A tragic shot of just another Tribby doll. This one I think actually of Tribby, implying that Tribby uses up her power. Maide on the ground, a blank stare, perhaps just killed, as we return to Finon wielding that suspiciously similar blade, stating, "I am the blazing sun destined to rise." It speaks to this idea that tragedy will befall all of his friends and allies, and that he alone will stand. He is accepting his destiny in this moment, but it does not feel like it is a good moment. This very much feels like another step towards tragedy. How much of this will actually come to pass, we shall see, but it is very concerning how much we see here, implying that tragedy will befall everyone. But that is where the trailer ends. It is very hype. I am so excited for this version story, and I just cannot wait to get to it. As usual, I'll stream it once it comes out, day of. Hopefully we can get through it in one night. Probably not, though, based on how long it is. We'll see, though. But with that, I think I've covered everything pretty well. So I think I'm gonna end things here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment on your thoughts, and I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye!